Hello, and thank you for taking the time to share some knowledge about your experiences and your projects with us. My first question, the exhibition Art in Sane Culture, Mental Health and Social Inclusion represents a preliminary stage of a wider program of international collaboration within the Tartu 2024 European Capital of Culture program. A series of works from the exhibition selected by the art historian Eva Laantee Reintamm and the director of the Kondas Center from Viljandi, Estonia, Mari Vallikivi, will be included in the project Hidden Worlds Expanding, part of Tartu 2024. Please tell us more about the selection of works and your interaction with your Romanian colleagues.
Our project is about outsider art, first of all. And first we try to map what's going on in so-called Eastern European countries, because our background is quite similar, because mental health issues has been stigmatized during 50, 70 years. So we need to deal with mental health issues. And right now it's just the moment that we are, first of all, we do such a field works. We're traveling around in different countries and we try to make contacts. We try to find the artists, people who need special support, and we try to find artworks. And Romania is the last country we have been visited. So that's the background. And we organize first such an international art exhibition in next year. And we gather together the works from different Eastern European countries.
How have you selected the works and how was the interaction with your colleagues from Romania?
Yeah, now we arrived 2 days ago and we were visited the big exhibition in a very, very beautiful place. And it's difficult to say, but we already did our selection in our minds, but let's see how it goes.
So you have said you have seen already the exhibition here in Bucharest. Could you describe it a bit for our listeners? And on the other hand, which are the strong points of the exhibition in Bucharest?
It was very impressive that the works, they were collected to the exhibition. They were from 60s. The range of the time was wide, long, and they were different. And there were art therapy works we have seen around Europe. And there were also very original art pieces, really. That was amazing. And the selection was also made by children and children works, which is very unusual because we haven't seen such exhibitions in Europe.
I mean, it was unusual that children works were also included, but it's very interesting also to see that. And we really appreciate a lot our colleagues Valentin Thomas' work, because he's the one who really gathered all the works from different hospitals and made kind of a pre-choice. And of course it would be very, very interesting to see what else is possible to find here, but we will see. We appreciate a lot his work.
Thank you. Which are the goals of the project Hidden Worlds Expanding? I have learned that the exhibition will be displayed in 3 Estonian cities, Tartu, Valga and Viljandi.
We have tried to widening the scope of creative self-expression for people in need of special support. And we would like to introduce the works to the wider audience as well. That's the main goal. What else? We will organize exhibitions in 3 different towns in the same time. And we will publish the catalogue. And we also ask Valentin to write the article there. And it will be the first time in the history that we can expose works from these countries, because these countries in so-called outsider art field have been hidden long time. The so-called Eastern European countries outsider art has been hidden for almost 70 years, or we don't know nothing about what's going on there. So it will be the first time when we will expose the works from 5 or 6 countries. So far we have found something, for example, from Latvia, from Poland, from Czech Republic, from Hungary, from Serbia, and now from Romania. So there will be a catalogue published about outsider art in Eastern European countries. Kondas Center, the Kondas Museum, belong to the European Outsider Art Association, and there are more than 100 institutions from all around Europe. But there are only a few institutions from Eastern European countries. And actually that was our starting point, why we started the project with Eva 3 years ago.
Which are the missions and the main projects of the Kondas Center, the Kondas Museum?
We are a municipal art museum. We have focus to self-taught art, but our program includes in every kind of art. There are classics and self-taught artists are represented or presented. The Kondas Museum is a municipal art museum in Estonia, and actually it's the only municipal art museum in Estonia. It was established exactly 20 years ago, and exactly 20 years ago I started as a director. And our main focus is to outsider art, the art which is made by self-taught artists. But in everyday program we expose almost everything, really. There are very wide range from classic to very, very outsider things and events we are.
Could you elaborate a little bit more about what outsider art means?
Yeah, it's maybe the most difficult question right now. Even the association we belong, it's under discussion again, what we call outsider art. And generally speaking, the art made by self-taught people who has never got any professional training, but not always, because you can have also some professional background, but you can be an outsider. But to narrow the term, then we can say that the art is made in the institutions, in asylums, the art made by people in need of special support or people with disabilities. But it's really difficult to say. If we go to so-called Central and Western Europe, we see already that these people can work like professionals. There is no difference anymore. That's why it's very, very difficult question. And if we go to the so-called art field, there are already exhibitions which are combined by contemporary, very professional art and outsider art. And it's really difficult to say where the border goes.
Thank you. Tartu will be a European capital of culture. Mrs. Eva Laantee Reintamm, I would like to ask you, which will be the most important events you will prepare for Tartu 2024?
For our project, this is, of course, the big exhibition, what we are preparing about the outsider art, mostly from Eastern European countries. It will take place in 3 different cities, in Tartu, as it's a capital of the European culture in 2024. In 2 different places, one is the University Museum, and the other place is the new anatomical building, which actually has some kind of symbolic meaning. And also in Kondas Center, of course, because Kondas Center is the main leader of this project. And then also in Valga, which is a small border city to Latvia, and also in some way kind of outside, also in Estonia. So, and I hope that will give some more tourist flows.
But we also have the pilot projects already are running. We recently opened the exhibition at Tartu Art Museum, and it's about historical outsider artworks from psychiatrical hospitals from Germany and from Estonia. It goes back to the end of 19th century already. And we also opened the exhibition at Condas, which we brought from Berlin, from Germany.
How can you explain how the artworks of people with intellectual disabilities look like in comparison with the other artworks? What makes them different, singular, valuable?
It's, again, very difficult question. When the psychiatrists started to collect works in the hospitals, they had another purpose. They collected works like Emil Krepelin, our very big psychiatrist in history. He did it for the diagnostical reason. They wanted to see which works are made by schizophrenics and so on. But it's really difficult to say. For example, I have a long experience already, almost 20 years. Sometimes, of course, I can say that these works might be done by Asperger's syndrome person, but I think it doesn't matter at all. The diagnosis is not important, and we don't want to emphasize that. But sometimes you can feel that the source where the creativity is coming is a very common. And if people do not have professional training, but they can create wonderful things, then it is big questioning mark. What is such a thing as a creativity is? And so on. But maybe the art made by people in need of special support is more sincere. There is no such a filter, let's say, that you can recognize immediately it's done by professionals. Without a filter, it is like it is, no more questions. Or there are very unique systems behind. Like at our Tartu Art Museum exhibition, you can find the works made by people in need of special support. They have built up their own universe, like a micro and macrocosmos, and have a systems, and you need to know how to read these works, and these are really, really unique. And they are a little bit different than contemporary art, but not always. It's really difficult to say.
It's really conceptual also.
It can, it might be very conceptual.
To close this interview, do you think that the member states and European Union are doing all they can do to protect and include people with disabilities, should they be physical or intellectual?
There is a big gap between what we see in Western Europe and in, let's say, in Central or Eastern Europe, because there is a gap of these 50, 60 years we have because of our common history. We see very interesting examples how artists with in need of special support can work together with professional artists and take part in different exhibitions. And really, they are able to identify themselves as professional artists, which gives them self-esteem, and they are really socialized in the communities. But in Eastern European countries, it's still, of course, everything is getting better. I mean, in a physical way, we get better living conditions, but still there is a lot to do. First of all, also in the societies, because of the stigmatization of mentally ill people is still very, very strong. And that's actually one of the aims we are following, to get away from this stigmatization, that people in need of the special support are actually, there is no difference. We just have to take care of all our citizens. And of course, there is a lot still to do, let's say, in intellectual possibilities, what we could offer. For example, we've seen fantastic open studios in Austria, in Germany, and that's something that we are looking for also to establish also in Eastern European countries. And we hope that the exhibition will be one step towards it, to show also to the public that art of artists who need a special support is very, very valuable.
Thank you so much for the interview. I want to congratulate you for the wonderful work you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.